Another national championship game, another comeback, and another set of last-second shots. Last night, the Irish gave the world what they wanted, another instant classic. But what they couldn't deliver on this time was another national title. Perfection. It rarely shows its face, but it did Saturday night here at the LA Memorial Coliseum when Notre Dame capped off an undefeated season with a 24-17 win over their rival in USC, which likely puts them among the top 4 teams in college football this season. Happy 2019, everyone, and welcome to hockey's fans' favorite New Year's tradition, the Winter Classic. This year, it was brought to you in the house that Rockne built, and over 76,000 people came out to brave the outdoors today and see the Blackhawks host the Bruins here in Notre Dame Stadium. And this original 6 rivalry lived up to its expectations. It's a 2-2 game in the third period, and Matt Grzelcyk winds up with a point shot. It's deflected in front, and Sean Curley scoops up the rebound. Hi, Jennifer. Like you said, Muff McGraw does it all. And yesterday, she proved she's socially conscious when her comments about gender equality went viral. But the head coach Hall of Famer wears many hats, and she's actually pretty fashion conscious as well. Do you think your coaching staff is the best dressed in college basketball?
Absolutely.
However, Haas had Boilermaker fans holding their breath once again in the second half when he took a hard fall right here in front of Purdue's bench. I spoke with Haas immediately following the game and his teammates, and everyone seemed to brush off that fall.
Oh, it's fine. I hit it really hard, and it'll just be swollen. There we go.
Be good next game?
Yeah. I hope so. Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Well, that was not the case at all. Moments after leaving that locker room, we found out that Haas had in fact fractured his right elbow, an injury that would require surgery and take him out the remainder of the tournament and his Purdue career. Actually in the basement of Purcell Pavilion at Notre Dame basketball's Ring of Honor, joined by all of the other legends here at Notre Dame. I thought it was appropriate because I do believe before long we could see another photo added to this wall, that of course being Arike Ogunbowale as she passed this girl right here, Skylar Diggins-Smith, to become Notre Dame's all-time leading scorer tonight. The Irish looking to open their season with a 3-0 record for the first time since 2015. And after barely sneaking by Ball State last weekend, the goals for today's matchup with Vandy were grit and a little more offensive production in the house that Rockne built. So number 8 Notre Dame hosts Vandy for just the second time in program history. First quarter, Irish up 3-0 thanks to Justin Yoon. Brandon Wimbush, he's going to drop back. He doesn't like his read, so he's going to scamper in from 12 yards out. That's his first rushing touchdown of the year for a Notre Dame score, and Notre Dame leads 10-0. Notre Dame defense forces a third straight Commodore punt, but Vandy is in the red zone again. Senior Kyle Shermer, he's going to shoot for Josh Crawford in the end zone, but Troy Pride and Alohi Gilman are on him. Gilman rips the ball out at the goal line. The ball actually flies about 15 feet in the air, batted around, bodies are flying, and Julian Love lands on it in the end zone. A big play for the Irish secondary, turning that near touchdown to a touchback. 180 miles divide the two schools, so geography plus history obviously equals a rivalry. Last time the two played in 2014, the Irish shut out the Wolverines, but they haven't met since until today. The rivalry renewed in the house that Rockne built. Notre Dame receives opening kickoff of 2018, so it's Brandon Wimbush up first. Wimbush hits Miles Boykin for the 28-yard reception, and the Irish are on the Michigan 31. Well, this night will go down in history for the Irish, for Arike Ogunbowale, and really for all of college basketball. In the hardest season of Muffet McGraw's career, Notre Dame finished the job tonight. We'll get right into that national championship game. Pete, thanks. I mean, I don't think any of us have stopped smiling since we watched the end of that game. And I believe the Irish will get a hero's welcome tomorrow when they return to South Bend. I'll be there. We'll have coverage on WSBT tomorrow and probably for a long time, because this was one of the best basketball games in college history. Really, it's going to go down in record books.
It's just a waiting game. It's like, can this thing just be over? Can I have my playbook already? Can I start learning it? Can I start doing what I've done the past 4 or 5 years?
Drew Tranquill is one of several former Notre Dame players anxiously waiting to hear his name called this weekend in the NFL draft.
But when you're talking about what exemplifies a Notre Dame student athlete, you're talking about Drew Tranquill.
Tranquill's 5-year journey from high school to the NFL wouldn't have happened without perseverance and plenty of encouragement. He switched between 3 positions at Notre Dame while navigating an obstacle course of injuries, tearing the ACL in his left knee his freshman season, and a year later snapping that same ligament in his right knee. But he kept at it and led the Irish as a captain to their first ever college football playoff berth this last season.
I want to kind of take some time, though, to recognize someone who doesn't get a lot of attention around here, and that's my dear friend, Keith Penrod.
During his time on campus, Tranquil struck up a special friendship with Keith Penrod, also known as Notre Dame's #1 fan.
When I was going through a tough time my freshman and sophomore year with my ACLs, he was a guy that just sat there after practice and would just talk to me, uplift me, and encourage me.
Penrod was born with cerebral palsy and given just 48 hours to live. But he's been on this earth for over 60 years now and has found a special way to spread his message.
I think Keith is an angel from heaven, and I honestly believe that because he sees things and hears things that, like, guys need to hear at the exact moment in time he says them. And so there's been moments in my career where, like, I've just been struggling, whether it was with injury or whether it was going through a 4-8 season, just all the ups and downs that have come with my experience here. And he's just been there to give me the right word and give me the encouragement that I need.
Penrod helped Tranquil in his fight to get back on the field. Meanwhile, Drew had no idea that in his final season with Notre Dame, he would be able to repay that favor to the Irish's biggest fan. Earlier this fall, Keith was hit by a car, which kept him off the sidelines nearly all season, but he was never too far from the program.
He constantly is FaceTiming us, calling and checking in. And Keith, I love you so much. You're the reason that Notre Dame is so special to me.
Penrod spent the entire year rehabbing broken bones, but a lot like the athletes that he counsels, he keeps fighting.
Keith Penrod has a passion for this family. He's a guy, he's a warrior. He's just the definition of a guy pursuing excellence in everything he does and looking to others and not himself.
Olivia Ray, WSBT 22 Sports.
WSBT 22's Olivia Ray reports this week's outstanding student athlete had to overcome incredible odds to get there.
You tell me I can't do it, I'll do it.
And what Sierra Inman did was quickly become the best female wrestler that Brandywine has ever seen.
Came to me in the hallways and said, hey, I want to wrestle. And I said, okay, but this is a guy sport. We're going to coach it like, you're a guy. And, you're not going to get any breaks and that. And I says, are you up to it? She goes, yeah.
In her freshman through junior seasons, she racked up 73 wins, which is when she set her sights on triple digits, a career milestone that very few high school wrestlers reach.
I was only 25, 27 wins away from getting my 100. And I said, that's going to be my senior goal. And if there's a challenge between getting to that goal and where I'm at, then you just got to push forward.
But on July 9th, 2018, just a month before Sierra's senior year, she found herself in front of the biggest challenge she will likely ever face.
I put on my helmet and got on the bike. I was just looking off into the distance, watching the scenery, and then I looked straight ahead of me and I saw a car go by, and then it's just pitch black.
She remembers waking up in her hospital bed and quickly realizing she couldn't move her lower body. Sierra was a complete spinal cord injury and will be paralyzed for the rest of her life.
I looked over at my dad and I told him I was going to walk again. I'm not going to be in a wheelchair the rest of my life. I'm going to be up and about and just as crazy as I am and I was before the accident.
And a couple of days after the accident, Sierra started working towards that goal. She texted her coach and told him she still wanted to wrestle for her final season.
I didn't respond because when I was choked up, I kept on asking her, well, how are you going to get on the mat? Don't worry, coach, I got it under control.
Sierra spent 3 months in the hospital and rehab facilities before she was released just in time for the beginning of her senior wrestling season.
Even in therapy, I set a goal to, I need to do floor transfers from my chair to the floor and then back to my chair so that I can get on the mat and then get off the mat.
And in Brandywine's first meet of the year, Sierra got herself on the mat, using only her upper body, and pulled herself to the center to get her first win of the season.
It was very nerve-wracking when the crowd went silent, and then when I got out to the center, got my arm raised, it was like all my nerves just went away.
Sierra's coaching staff and opposing teams worked together to allow her to record void wins throughout the entire year, While it came down to the final match of the season, Sierra Inman had her arm raised for the 100th time.
To finally achieve a goal that had played a big part since before my accident made me feel just as normal as I was when I wasn't in the wheelchair. In all, I think that wrestling helps you accept yourself better than what a lot of people go through, and not accepting who they are.
Olivia Ray, WSBT 22 Sports.